After 261 of Jujutsu Kaisen, we're going to witness potentially the greatest jumping of the series so far.
Step off! Step off! Shit! They jumping me! They jumping me!
Three characters are about to team up in such a unique way, and an exciting way, frankly, that I do not see Sukuna making out of this fight alive. With Yuta's return to the fight using possibly the strongest weapon in Jujutsu, I don't know how Sukuna can possibly make it out of this one unscathed. So in this video, I want to analyze each of the fighters involved in this fight and their history with each other and how much they've powered up since the last time we've seen them, because all three of our heroes in this fight have all gotten insane power-ups recently, and I'm just really excited to break this down. So I want to thank you guys for checking this video out today, and let's get right into it. The first character I want to talk about in this fight is Todo. Although he's been somewhat overshadowed by Yuta's return, Todo is finally back in the story after such a long time away, and he has a new tool that makes his curse technique, Boogie Woogie, extremely overpowered. Speculation about his new arm ran rampant after it was severed by Mahito in his 0.2 second domain expansion in Shibuya, but now we know that he has a Vibra Slap attached to his arm stump. This allows him to use Boogie Woogie 50 times in a second, so he can swap people or objects 50 times a second. That is just ridiculous. Him and Yuji already have been using this against Sukuna, and I imagine they were flying around the battlefield. It's just insane how much this power-up has done. Todo paired with a Black Flash Awakened Yuji is such a dangerous combo. We've already seen Yuji land, 8 or 9 Black Flashes at this point, and Todo just swapping him in and out with these Black Flashes is just something that Sukuna is going to have to put up with. And Todo still can hit a Black Flash. We've seen him do it before. He, of course, hasn't done it in this fight yet, but we can't count him out. I think Todo's probably the most prepared he's been in his life for a fight like this. The Vibra Slap gives him an edge against Sukuna, and his high IQ and battle sense are going to come into play in this fight for sure. We can't count Todo out at all. He is still a huge asset in this fight, and I'm super excited to see him fight with specifically Yuta. Before we get to Yuta, I want to talk about Yuji. Yuji by chapter 261 has leveled up significantly. First, we learned Yuji had gained reverse curse technique back in chapter 247 or 248, and we also possibly see Yuji using piercing blood all the way back in 247, although it is confirmed now that he can use piercing blood as he hit Sukuna with it. So he has 2 curse techniques, including the shrine. We know Yuji can use the cut and paste symbol to cut things much like Sukuna, so he has that curse technique as well. It is stated in chapter 256 that if Yuji continues punching Sukuna with his new arms, that he will continue to weaken Sukuna's curse energy output. So this is something interesting. We've seen Yuji's new arms. He kind of looks like a fish, almost, kind of weird, but it hasn't exactly been explained what these arms do. We do know that there is some sort of soul punch that Yuji can use, as we saw Yuji reach Megami, who was trapped in Sukuna's body, obviously, but he hits Sukuna with a punch that is able to bring their souls together, where Yuji actually tries to reach out and speak to Megami, and this is where we kind of learn Megami is kind of beyond saving right now. He's out of the fight completely. But in any case, Yuji has a new soul punch. I bet it will be explained more later, and it will probably come into play when trying to save Megami again. I don't think they'll give up quite yet on saving him. But I haven't even mentioned, Yuji has hit, I think, 8 Black Flashes in a row. We saw him hit another when Todo showed up and swapped, or they did the fake out swap, kind of like they did to Mahito. But Yuji's awakened right now. I mean, he's in the flow state. You can't just hit all these Black Flashes and not be powered up. We kind of know this at this point. Yuji is just on a roll, and I don't see him stopping hitting these Black Flashes. But yeah, I think he's at 8 right now. So I imagine that will only continue to go up if he's able to get involved in this fight with Sukuna, possibly after the domain clash with Sukuna and Yuta ends. We'll have to see how that works out. But yeah, Yuji completely powered up here. You know, the RCT is helping him tank the slashes. His punches is weakening Sukuna. Overall, he's just the most powerful he's ever been, and he's the most fired up he's ever been since, Choso just died. He's going to fight as hard as he can, especially with his brother Todo by his side. Yuji is just on a new level right now, and it's plain to see. I think the most exciting aspect of this fight is the power-up Yuta has gotten. Although there's plenty of unanswered questions about Yuta's copy ability that he has used to take over Gojo's body, Like, what will happen after the 5 minutes he has in this body? We don't really know. But for these 5 minutes, it seems like Yuta is going to be unstoppable. First of all, he has the six eyes now in Gojo's body, which just gives a huge advantage. He also is going to inherit all of Gojo's memories. We know this because of Kenjaku when he took over Geto's body. He was able to see all of his former memories and kind of have insight in how to use his spirit manipulation ability. And now Yuta is going to have all of Gojo's past experience, including his fight with Sukuna, access to many different techniques and ideas that Gojo was able to use. For example, he can use red, blue, and even purple and kind of figure out how Gojo maximized those abilities. And hopefully Yuta is going to be able to use these abilities now too inside of Gojo's body. So there is so many unanswered questions with this, but it just feels like Yuta purely got a buff here. Another thing that we can think about with Yuta is he has Rika, and it hasn't been shown yet, but if he has Rika still, that is just insane. I can't imagine he won't have Rika. We haven't seen his hand wearing the ring that he uses to summon Rika. We also see Yuta clashing domains with Sukuna using Infinite Void. So this is really cool that he can use Gojo's domain, and he'll probably use it throughout this entire fight. But if he has this in addition to some of his copy techniques, for example, if he still has Jacob's Ladder or Thin Icebreaker, he has so many attacks he can use along with Gojo's abilities. He is just such a powerful asset right now, and the more I think about this, I really do like this twist in the story. I think Yuta is just so strong and powerful for being able to do this. And, who's going to beat... Can Sukuna beat this buffed Gojo, basically? I don't know. And maybe he'll just have to stall for 5 minutes until, the body swapping ability doesn't work anymore. I imagine since there's a domain clash happening going into chapter 262 that Todo and Yuji will be out of the fight for a little bit. However, when this clash is inevitably over, these three will be able to fight for the first time together. I'm really excited to see these three. I know Todo and Yuji have fought together before, Yuta and Yuji have fought together before, but we have not seen Yuta and Todo fight together. And now Yuta and Gojo's body, it's such an insane fight to think about, because Todo can swap everyone now. So imagine Todo swapping Yuta and Yuta using a purple. Like, it seems like it's over for Sukuna in my eyes, although we know it's probably not going to be. Only time will tell. But all three of these guys can also hit Black Flashes. So we'll see if Yuta can hit a Black Flash inside of Gojo's body. So sick. That would be unbelievable. And, these three's abilities just seem to work really well together. Again, we'll see what Yuta has up his sleeve if he still has those copy abilities. But I want to see Todo land a Black Flash. That's my one thing in this fight. If Todo is able to hit a Black Flash on Sukuna, I will be satisfied. Hopefully we get to see Yuta throw some hands too inside of Gojo's body. But yeah, these three guys deserve to have a really great fight together, and I'm so excited to see what we have in store. One thing I forgot to mention is that Todo and Yuji can probably use Simple Domain to offset Sukuna's domain. We haven't really seen them use it against Sukuna yet, but that's a possibility to see in the upcoming fight. The Sukuna Gauntlet has to end here. If he somehow makes it through these guys, I think that Sukuna will win in the end. There will be nobody left to stop him. One of my personal agendas is I want this fight to allow for a few more characters to participate in the jumping, notably Maki, maybe Inumaki and Ino, because Ino was such a goat for the earlier portions of this fight. Maybe Kusakabe if he's healed and still alive. I would just love to see everyone come in and just start punching on Sukuna, but I know that's probably not going to happen. It's too dangerous for a lot of those characters to come in at this point. I also think that some of these characters could go help Hikari, since he's basically on a picnic with Urame currently. It's kind of ridiculous, but I'm sure we'll see the POV of that fight coming soon. Either way, I think we're in for a feast in the next chapter. So definitely let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the next chapter. I'm really curious to see what people think. It's probably different than what I think, but of course I love to hear everyone's opinions. And I'm so excited to see this jumping. I think it's going to be, classic JJK jump, but we'll have to see. And with that, I think I've yapped enough for today. Thanks for spending your time with me here today, and thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.